You're good. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? This bitch right here.
Don't you live?
What? How are we? And we're back for another episode of Football's Destiny presented by Fortune Sports. This week we are continuing and finishing up the 2023 NFL offseason script with the AFC South.
Boo. No.
I'm Damon. I'm repping. I reckon I'm repping the Texans with my JJ Watt jersey this week. John's to my right, repping his Colts
Jonathan
Taylor jersey, and to my left
Ooh.
is Hunter wearing New York Jets.
Jets.
Wrong division.
Yeah, we did that first, bro. That was like 2 months ago.
I'm obsessed.
Oh, yeah, why didn't we do that either?
Good boys. Appreciate y'all joining in here.
Oh, oops. Down almost starts a
I didn't cheers him. Don't forget, we do have merch on our website, fortunesportscrew.com. Get yourself a can koozie, Damon's hat. Also has some wonderful t-shirts and some hoodies soon to come.
Yep, definitely. Ooh. We're going to have a fall drop coming for you guys very shortly. Obviously, we're waiting a little bit till it gets colder in other sections of the country because it doesn't get very cold
I was going to say, where? I mean, it gets kind of cold in the winter here.
Yeah, I respect it, but
It's chilly.
just a wee bit. You're funny. Anyways, we're going to be talking about the AFC South today, but if you guys have been here the last couple of weeks, we have been talking about news around the NFL before we get jumping into each division. We're going to go ahead and do that right now.
Most of this stuff was pretty irrelevant this week.
Oh, geez. One of the things is relevant. No. But before we do that, also, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do so right now. If you're not, what the hell are you doing? And also follow us on all social media, Fortune Sports Crew, across the board, essentially. So, all right. We can get her jumping. I'll talk about this one because it's in the NFC East for me. Eagles linebacker Miles Jack retired from the NFL after 7 seasons. Kind of came as a surprise, but a lot of people that I saw commenting on this announcement was that he probably wasn't going to make the team anyway. So he just decided to hang him up.
I didn't realize that part.
Yeah.
I thought he was still pretty good.
Yeah, so did I. But then like I said, I was reading that stuff, and then I was like, oh, well, that.
So the Eagles aren't in trouble at linebacker position as much as we thought?
Nope, definitely not. Apparently, or at least they feel that way, I guess.
Other news around the league with the Patriots and Packers game yesterday, NFL preseason, week 2. Rookie cornerback Isaiah Bolden actually went down with that head injury that ended the game a little bit early in that one. But good news out of there. He has been released from the hospital after being carted off the field. So good news. It was a little bit of a scary moment there. I was very confused on why the game just ended, but that is the reason why.
The Ravens signed linebacker Jadeveon Clowney to a 1-year deal. Man's wearing number 24 as a linebacker.
Yeah, that's even. I mean, I'm not going to say that's worse. It's about on the same level as Teddy Bridgewater wearing 50.
50, yeah. When Jadeveon Clowney first showed up to Ravens practice, he lined up at slot and caught a slant.
Damn.
As his first rep at Ravens practice.
Sick.
Man's is running scout team offense or
I
what?
guess so.
All right.
Commanders officially named their starting quarterback.
Yeah, Sam Howell.
Sam Howell.
Who honestly beat up on the Cowboys last season. It cost me some money, sports betting.
Well, now he's going to do it twice.
No. It'll be interesting in Washington. I have them very low, winning only like 2 or 3 games, which I think is a little disrespectful to them. I think they will win more than that, but I just can't give them win. They have a pretty tough schedule. The NFC East in its entirety has a tough schedule. They had one of the easiest last year. Now have one of the hardest this year. So we'll see how it pans out for them. But Sam Howell will be the starting quarterback moving forward. All right. And then since there wasn't that much NFL news this week, we decided we're going to do a segment called Winners and Losers from the preseason so far. I want to go last, so you guys go ahead.
What's a shit?
I'll go first. I just got to pull up his stats real quick. My winner from preseason this week specifically is Tank Bigsby.
Big B. Everybody knows that's Big Dick B.
And we'll talk about him a little bit more later in the
video's so funny,
episode.
actually, though.
But yesterday he carried the ball 13 times for 70 yards. Didn't end up having a touchdown, but 70 yards is a dub for me. My loser is ties in the NFL. The fact that they let this shit happen. I understand it's preseason right now, but there's 2 games that tied yesterday, 13-13 and 18-18.
Yeah, they don't.
These are grown-ass men. Let them play.
It's preseason.
These are grown-ass men.
It's preseason.
Let them play.
But also, I understand both points because also these guys are like the 4th, 5th, 6th stringers.
Do that into the camera.
These guys aren't like playing that often, so like maybe like 5 minutes or incorporate college rules into it. Why not?
Sure, I'd be okay with that. Line the ball up at the 10-yard line,
and
score. You have to go for 2. Can't do the extra point. Then both teams get it, make it back at the 20.
Yeah, like eventually somebody's gonna mess up. It's not gonna take as long as like a normal NFL period.
Somebody's gonna miss a field goal. Something.
All right. I have 2 winners and I got 2 losers. My first winner is going to be running back Jalen Warren out of Pittsburgh. He doesn't have much to show in the preseason. I've just been hearing really good things out of training camp. The one thing he did have good to show was he only had 1 rushing attempt in yesterday's game, and it was a 62-yard run for a touchdown. So I'm assuming that he is currently, well, I'm not assuming. I know I looked at the depth chart. He's currently 3rd on the depth chart, but I'm assuming as soon as season starts, he's going to be in that number 2 role behind Najee Harris and should get some playing time if Mike Tomlin's smart. Because you can't just keep handing the ball off to Najee Harris for all 4 downs. Nope, that does not work.
Yeah, they got to have, I mean, it doesn't have to be like a quote committee, but somebody's got to help them.
And then my other winner, a little bit biased here, but hopefully you guys agree with me, is going to be Jordan Love out of Green Bay. He's under a lot of pressure being the starting quarterback this year, but he's shown out pretty well in preseason. He's had a couple of drives, and his total stats are 12 for 18 with 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 130 passing yards. That's a good enough average to be a 124 passer rating, and I will take that all day, especially if I expect him to continuously get a little bit better each and every week.
Most definitely. Now, honestly, before we went on air, me and Damon talked about this a little bit. I was going to have Jordan Love as my winner as well, but obviously, as he's the Packer fan, I let him have
it. My biggest losers from the preseason is going to be Trey Lance and Kyle Trask. Pretty similar situations of very young quarterbacks who don't have a lot of experience under their belt, but had a chance to battle for that QB1 position on their teams. And as far as I've seen, they both pretty much just kicked themselves out of that race of being that quarterback one. So it looks like they're just going to be sitting on the bench again for another year at least.
Yeah, I would expect Trey Lance, since the 49ers gave so much up for him. The issue is that his trade value is super low right now. They want, obviously something to get back for him, but I don't expect him to sit on the 49ers bench for that much longer unless Brock Purdy starts losing, but I don't really foresee that, I guess.
And I might as well jump out ahead before this goes, before you all start commenting in the comment section. But Damon, I looked up Trey Lance's stats in preseason, and he was throwing like 60%, and he only had 1 interception and 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good.
4th and scout team.
He was on the field for like an entire half versus the Raiders and couldn't do shit. And one of those touchdowns that they threw in that game, his 1 touchdown in that game, it was a tipped pass that happened to get caught by not who he was throwing to. So that touchdown shouldn't even count. So
definitely not for him.
Yeah.
Definitely not for him. It's funny for that. So my winner is quarterback Baker Mayfield. Except Todd Bowles refuses that the QB battle is not over. He's like, I will make that decision when the time comes. But Baker, quote, rested with the starters in the second preseason game. Kyle Trask played, and then John Warford, I think, played, or I think that's maybe who it is. But
Todd Bowles is under that Bruce Arians coaching tree,
where you wait till the last possible second to make your decision, even though you internally
Yeah, it's like, hey, what's your name? I'll tell you later. What?
Yeah,
okay.
I like those coaches. Don't tell the media anything.
Who's the starter? Brett Favre.
Yeah. You're
As far as I'm concerned, Rodgers is still starting in Green Bay.
Oh my God!
We'll decide in week one.
Until week one.
Week one, about a day before the game actually starts, we'll let you know who's actually starting for
I
us.
think he's starting for the Jets. Sorry.
you're funny as hell for that. But
What?
this entire offseason, like during training camp and stuff, so many reports were like, it's a real battle down here in Tampa between Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask. And after the first preseason game, that got shut down.
So foolish.
So obviously, my winner goes in tail with Damon's loser.
Not foolish. Kyle Trask had a chance to fight.
No, I'm saying like
It was foolish that they were like,
He's
just been wearing a
Oh,
battle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got you. That's still going on. Yeah. Kyle just punched himself in the face. Classic Kyle move. Go drink a Red Bull, punch a hole through a wall.
Respectfully. And then my loser is the entire Panthers offensive line. So life is hard enough for a rookie quarterback in the NFL, but with an O-line allowing their quarterback to be pressured over 40% of his dropbacks is absolutely atrocious and a recipe for disaster. Yes, most of these teams, especially when Bryce Young is playing, that they're playing against first-team defenses, at least for the first couple series. But even after that, when they are playing the second and third stringers, the Panthers have been leaving a couple starters out here and there, and they're still struggling. So when, people like the premier edge rushers in the NFL, the TJ Watts, Michael Parsons, Myles Garrett's of the world, come at these guys, it's going to be, I'm scared for Bryce Young.
Yeah, hopefully Adam Thielen can elevate this team to championship contenders.
But, also, we always talk about Bryce Young's size, too. If he's getting hit 30 times a game, that's going to add up as time goes on. And it's going to be one hell of a rookie season for him.
Especially for being 185 pounds soaking wet.
With a harness on.
Or maybe he just turns into a running back quarterback like Justin Fields.
It is funny you said that, and I came prepared because Justin Fields was pressured 55% of his dropbacks last season. That was throughout the entire season.
They want him to be a running back.
So that's a yikes. So that's not even, that's 15% less than Justin Fields was pressured. So, lol. We didn't actually talk about this beforehand, but who's going to talk about what team here?
I think I'm the Texans, and I think you're the Colts.
Respectfully,
You're wearing green, so you're up.
Jaguars.
This is definitely the worst division in football.
Jaguars. Jaguars.
Yeah? Jacksonville. At least they don't have Urban anymore.
Duval.
Urban, Oscar Mayer Wiener.
Last year they finished 9-8.
Sure, they did.
Won the division. I said, "Yep, that's
Yeah.
what it says."
Facts.
They did
Facts.
that.
Thanks for reading it. Vegas doesn't really like them very much this year, only giving them a possibility of a half win more.
Yeah, I'm definitely putting that in my.
Well, I'm taking the over too,
Yeah.
but I think that's respectful.
I barely
Why?
took the over.
Look at
Bro.
what they're putting for the other teams.
Okay, yes.
The
but
highest other one is like 11.5. I don't
But
even think
you-
there's 12.5.
You play these guys 6 times.
Yeah,
They can go 6-0, and that's 6 wins. You only need 3 more after that to hit the 9.
Wow. First of all, we all know that's not how divisional games go. They don't just hand them out.
Well, this year they
And
might.
two, it's not like this is a superstar team.
I
it's
at
still
least
in
think
the
they
making.
I think they should have 11.5. I think that's what their line should be.
Spoiler alert. I think that's where I have them. I'm not going to put, if I'm a Vegas odd books holder, though, I'm not putting the line at 11.5.
Why? Because
Everybody's smashing the under.
Smashing the under.
I feel like at 9.5, everybody's smashing the over. Okay, never mind. Keep going.
News from their team this offseason, they ended up signing Evan Ingram to a 3-year, $41.5 million deal after working out a deal. They had placed him on a franchise tag, but got this long-term deal with him. So $24 million guaranteed at signing, and $15 million of that will be paid out this year. A couple losses in free agency. Quarterback Shaquille Griffin left to Houston.
Boo.
Interdivisional. Also lost Juwan Taylor to the Chiefs. He wants to go win a ring. Got a bag too. 4-year, $80 million. Outside linebacker Arden Key went to another interdivision to the Titans. 3-year, $21 million deal. We've talked about him before. Wide receiver Marvin Jones, old ass Marvin Jones,
For real. Ancient.
going back to the Lions, and then they signed kicker Brandon McManus from the Broncos. That's an L.
Brandon McManus. What is that an L for the Jaguars
Yeah.
or?
Brandon McManus is ass.
I feel like he's like kicked like a 60-yarder last year, but
Not that bad.
dude, the Broncos had so much confidence in them that they would just keep the ball around the 50-yard line and just let them kick 60-yarders over and over and over.
That's how far Russell Wilson could get down the field last season.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that was.
I don't think
No, that was their game plan the
I
whole
don't
time.
think that was their intentions.
I mean,
But it might have been. It was Nathaniel Hackett. Oh, freaking.
Good thing he's on the Jets now. All right.
he's not calling plays.
He's not.
Something to remember is last November the Jaguars traded for Calvin Ridley while he was still suspended, and he's obviously not suspended anymore. Looking real speedy out there on the practice field, so that'll definitely help Trevor Lawrence out a little bit. Retaining free agency, Andrew Wingard came back on a 3-year deal.
Wingard.
Pretty solid safety for them. Again, I've never really been high on the Jaguars, never really been high on Trevor Lawrence, but
See, I think you're big wrong when it comes to that, but we'll see how it pans out.
let's see. A couple of their draft picks this year. I really like their 3rd-round pick, but we'll touch on him in a second. First round, they took a offensive tackle, Anton Harrison from Oklahoma. Some notable things about him: he allowed just 2 pressures on 406 pass block snaps last season at Oklahoma. Allowed only 1 sack on 772 pass block snaps in the past 2 seasons. So definitely someone to help Trevor Lawrence out, be able to give him a little bit more time.
Especially losing Jawan Taylor in free agency, that was probably the biggest need for them.
Yeah.
Offensive line protecting your franchise guy.
They weren't honestly planning on starting him right away, but with Cam Robinson being suspended for violating the substance abuse policy, it looks like he could end up being a starter right away, and he could start at guard or tackle. He played left tackle in all but 1 game at Oklahoma, but when he was at Kent State in 2022, he actually played right tackle. So
Interesting.
definitely very
So
versatile.
yeah, definitely. I like that. I like offensive linemen that can play all positions because then it gives you a better chance to be on the field, especially early in your career.
And then they took a tight end in the 2nd round, Brenton Strange, LOL, from Penn State. Last year he had 70 doesn't look right, passes, supposed to be catches. 70 catches for 755 yards and 11 touchdowns while he was at Penn State. Most likely, obviously, going to be tight end 2 behind Evan Ingram. The only other tight end on their roster is Luke Farrell, who has 11 career catches. So,
Yikes.
um,
Well, yeah, but obviously Evan Ingram's that guy. He had got the bag this offseason, so respect to him.
obviously, this last season, him getting out of New York really helped his career, not just money-wise, but production.
Is Brenton Strange related to Cole Strange from last year?
I have no idea.
You remember when people were clowning the Patriots so hard? Like, I think the Rams especially, they were geeking because they thought they were going to take Cole Strange in the 3rd round. But then he went in the 1st, and then he actually ended up being pretty good, fucking good last year. So
Still drafted him too high.
well, okay, I agree, but they got the guy they wanted.
It's a little strange.
Well, just a wee bit strange.
And then the person that I actually had as my winner for this preseason week in round 3, pick 88.
Round 8, pick 33.
Round 8. He was Mr. Irrelevant. Running back Tanks Bigsby from Auburn. He ran a 4.55 at the combine. Definitely going to be helping out in short yardage situations. Like I said, 70 yards yesterday rushing. There was actually one play that he was really about to get a touchdown and they called it back.
So kumquats.
It happens. But I'm excited. And obviously with a name like Tank, it'll be pretty good. There's actually several people named Tank in this draft.
Yeah, apparently, because we learned about that
Oh,
today
damn.
when we talk about the Texans.
Juice and Deuce.
Juice, Deuce, Tank, all sorts of shit going down.
I know this, but the periods don't really match up. because it's like it was a little bit too late, but might just because of Frank the Tank out of Wisconsin. I really think in the nation when he won the award for being best college basketball player,
in
he just got all these kids named
14,
Tank.
15, somewhere around there.
Yeah, now we're in 2024,
Only
2023.
only
so.
because Kyrie didn't play more than 11 games that season.
Well, we digress on that. We're skipping the record predictions till the end, like always. So,
Who's doing Titans?
I think it's going to be one of us.
Do we have a visitor?
Three.
No visitor?
no.
And welcome in one of our favorite fans from the cast. He is a Titans fan. Nobody.
Said no one ever.
Nobody likes Titans. Except for John, actually. That is one of his favorite teams. This time you can't actually argue that because this is true. This is on your list of favorite teams.
Do you not have a Titans jersey?
No. If you want to be technical, if I had to pick a team in the AFC, I would pick the Titans. That's it.
Not the Jets?
No.
That's so sad.
So I'll start with the Titans. Last year they went 7-10, but the Vegas odds have them right around the same at 7.5. I would stay away from that if I was betting because that's just, I don't know, it's too. Because with the signing of DeAndre Hopkins, they could win 10 games. But if Ryan Tannehill / Malik Willis / Will Levis do not perform up to their standards, they can win 3 games. So, yeah, stay away from that. So, DeAndre Hopkins was released from the Cardinals and enjoyed the benefits of free agency because he did sign a 2-year, $26 million deal with the Titans. Being as good as you are and holding out for as long as you did, that's when you get, really high incentive bags. Like,
of course,
2 years, $26 million.
The money is nice, but I think the real win here is that he got to leave Arizona.
Well, I would say leaving Arizona State, no. Leaving the Cardinals organization, hell yeah.
Well, that's what I meant.
But, I accidentally just
I will say
knocked out the notes.
Tennessee is where wide receivers go to die. Randy Moss, Andre Johnson, Julio Jones. This is where, obviously, Julio moved on and played for a year on the Bucs, but we'll see what happens to him. But I don't think that – I mean, honestly, he's probably playing with one of the worst quarterbacks that he's played with throughout his career now.
I mean, he's played with some pretty bad ones. Those early years with the Texans are probably pretty rough before Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I mean, he had.
Did he play with what's his name? Yeah, Matt Schaub. Okay, well,
that might be too old. I don't know.
I don't know.
DeAndre was there yet.
I was too young.
He hasn't been in the league that long.
Yeah, no, just playing. But the Titans lost guard Nate Davis in free agency to Chicago. 3 years, $30 million is absurd. I feel like because I don't even consider Nate Davis. Maybe it's just because he has too much of a generic name to really stand out to me. But
took a friend with him too.
He did take a friend, DeMarcus Walker. 3 years, $21 million. Chicago just had so much money; they're just handing it out. Wide receiver Robert Woods went to Houston on a 2-year, $15 million deal, which is insane because I feel like his production the last 3 years has just maybe not 3 years, 2 years, because he was pretty big when the Rams won the Super Bowl. He was still there, right? Yeah. Okay. Just making sure my facts were correct. And then linebacker David Long went to Miami on 2 years, $11 million deal. Titans had a total of 14 players leave free agency, but these 4 were the most notable. They did gain 2 in free agency. Offensive tackle Andre Dillard from Philadelphia, 3 years, $29 million. And then outside linebacker Arden Key from Jacksonville, 3 years, $21 million. They didn't really retain anybody in free agency, and they didn't make any trades. So shocker there that they didn't get much better than they were 7-10. But they did find potentially 2 gems in the draft. I like their offensive tackle, their first pick, which was pick 11, offensive tackle Peter Skoronski, who we kind of shit on during the NFC North episode because we're talking about Lucas
I didn't
Van
say
Ness.
he was a bad player. I was just explaining why Lucas Van Ness is so good because he went up against an elite offensive tackle and made him look silly.
So last year, the Titans gave up 49 sacks, which was the 5th most in the NFL last season. So obviously drafting an offensive lineman is filling a need. And with Andre Dillard, who they just got in free agency, is at left tackle. Skoronski will be plug and play at left guard potentially. We'll see how that goes. I would assume they'll eventually move him out to tackle or just shuffle it around, but we'll see how it goes for them. Protecting big boy Ryan Tannehill. He's not that big, I lied.
Big boy.
He's a big boy.
He's pretty big. You're like 6'5",
Yeah, I guess
a bigger quarterback in the league.
Respect.
he'd probably consider John short. So
That's why.
That's why he's a big boy. All right. Well, who knows if big boy Ryan Tannehill is going to be playing quarterback for the Titans for much longer.
Quarterback carousel in Tennessee.
Because round 2, pick 33, they drafted quarterback Will Levis out of Kentucky. Some people thought this guy was a top 5 pick coming into the draft, and he fell all the way to the second round. I mean,
I think he was 4 of the 5 people that thought he was going top 5.
Yeah, dude, honestly, a lot of people had him over Anthony Richardson, who did go at 5. But, I mean, technically the second round is the second pick in the second round, so it is what it is. But he did just skydive down from top 5, and Tennessee got him in day 2 of the draft. But Malik Willis definitely struggled last season when Ryan Tannehill was out, so obviously they don't think he's the guy. He was the third-round pick from last year. And then they need somebody to back up Ryan Tannehill, who is how old?
34.
I don't know.
Pretty damn, yep, 35. So, yeah, he's getting up there in age. So they're going to need to look for a young quarterback eventually. So maybe Will Levis is that guy. He's got incredible arm strength. He played at Kentucky where they don't really play huge name colleges. And his decision-making at times in college and also coming out of camp kind of hit or miss. So it'll be interesting to see his development here in Tennessee.
I just had a thought come to mind, and I don't know if this is correct or not, so you guys might have to correct me. And I don't even know if you guys know this. Is Will Levis the quarterback that when they were doing all the draft pre-thing that ate the banana peel? See the weirdo that did that shit? It came out with some, like, he enjoys eating the banana peel.
Is that no? Wasn't it him that said he likes weird stuff in his coffee?
Oh, it's mayonnaise in his coffee. That's what it was. It's not he eats a banana peel.
No,
he puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
No, he does eat bananas with the peel on as well. So
dude, he's just all around weird. So this is why he fell in the draft. Yeah, dude, if I was the Colts, I would not draft this guy.
Titans?
No, like the Colts were going to take him because also, did you see those pictures where he got like swole and they were like, everybody was like, oh shit, he's going fit to the Colts. And then all of a sudden, like, nope.
He likes fully unpeeled and overripe bananas.
So they're brown when he
overripe, mushy, gushy.
Oh no!
Peel on.
He likes his coffee light with mayonnaise, but he likes his bananas brown.
I said, I don't know if I can continue this episode at all. My stomach is turning.
Yeah,
boys.
dude, that's pretty gross.
I think the people would like us to try it. I think we should try
coffee
it.
And bananas all together.
I think we should see if the people want us to try it.
Yeah, I'm down. Well,
I would do the mayonnaise in the coffee. Just try it once.
That sounds foul.
It does.
It does not sound great.
Like hot coffee or cold coffee? Because isn't mayonnaise gonna curdle?
Creamer's supposed to curdle too.
I don't drink coffee, so
Can we move on?
I don't like adding anything to my coffee though. I just like it black.
On to the Colts.
Oh, that's vegan. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, we were gonna split that one up, but you just kept going. So Hunter and I were just sitting here like,
I just like the Titans that much, huh?
I told you.
Third favorite team, right?
I mean, we can split this one up if you guys want.
Should I throw you under the bus a little bit?
Cowboys, Bears.
What's new? No, just
Titans.
You want me to?
Yeah,
Should I?
Do it.
So John and I were actually watching the Tennessee Titans preseason football game, and then I was talking about Malik Willis, and then he goes, "Do you know who the other guy is?" And I was drawing a blank. It is kind of my bad. I'm throwing myself under the bus too because I forgot who Will Levis was.
Mans was running,
and then he goes, "That's him. Who is that out on the field right now?" And I was like, "I don't know, Malik Willis." And he's like, "Nope, Will Levis. You got it wrong. You're an idiot." And then come to find out, it was Malik Willis on the field, number 7. So. Who's the real idiot?
Let me
still kind of
myself a little bit because I got a notification on my phone here that was like, oh, also phone cases, sports crew. But I got a notification on my phone that said Will Levis makes his NFL debut in preseason game versus Bears. So I was like, oh, sick. Let's turn that on really quick. I want to see what he does. And then there was still Malik Willis in the game. And they just ended up alternating each drive, just going back and forth. So,
still, in my opinion, Malik did better that game.
Yeah, no,
not by much, because they both did not have stellar games, but he did.
Man's just running with his dogs out.
Here's our Titans fan.
Yeah, he's here. All right, let's talk about the Colts. But last year they went 4-12. if I'm being completely honest and outing myself, when Matt Ryan joined the team, was that last year? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was pretty high on that
I was
too.
definitely high on them
Because
too.
what was the other thing? We were talking about who was the quarterback before Matt Ryan? Oh, it's Carson Wentz, right?
Yeah,
We're like Carson Wentz is hot garbage.
and they
Matt
still
Ryan is not that bad.
Yeah.
They have a really good team around them, really good offensive line. They have one of the better running backs in the league, and they don't have that bad of a wide receiver room and a good defense. We're like, Matt Ryan can easily step in here and be very good for this team. And this division was hot garbage last year. They should win it easily.
4-12-1.
Oh, that's why I was confused on why
Texans,
I said.
they tied with the Texans last year.
Oh yeah, that was the first game of the season.
So lame.
But that's why I was confused. But that makes sense now. But yeah, I was so high. I'm pretty sure I had them 11 wins.
I'm pretty sure I did too. Somewhere around there. I had them winning this division very easily.
Yeah, and that obviously the Jaguars said to that. But Vegas has them at 6.5, which I still think is, especially because the future of my boy Jonathan Taylor is still up in the air. Is he
was there and then he left again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
Had a personal whatever.
I would have a personal problem too if
I have a personal problem with Jim Irsay.
I will say, obviously, we'll talk about him a little bit, but I think that Anthony Richardson is the best quarterback in this draft. So
Man,
I
actually have them
I like that take.
several games higher than you guys do. I don't have them.
Yeah, you do.
I don't have them winning the division, but
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. But yeah, I mean, his rushing upside is obviously very high, but we'll get to that. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor, who knows what's going to happen with him? They don't want to trade him. He doesn't want to play for a guy who he said him dying and the owner dying and Jonathan Taylor being out of the league are basically on the same wavelength is how I took that, which is kind of fucked up. But
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
I really do hope that he gets to have a change of scenery.
I just want justice for my boy. That's all I want. Wisconsin Badgers alumni.
He was a fantasy stud a couple years ago.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
Also a fantasy dud last year, though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people who took him number 1 overall were pissed. Shout out to you, Mo.
There is a Jaguars question that I want to go back to after not now. After the whole thing is over. But so the Colts lost in free agency linebacker Bobby Okereke went to New York Giants, 4 years, $40 million. That's a good bag for him. He deserves it personally, I think so. And then quarterback Brandon Faxon went to Las Vegas Raiders on a 2-year, $6.5 million. And they also released quarterback Nick Foles. He's going to go retire and just enjoy his statue outside Lincoln Financial Field. Gain in free agency, defensive end Samson Ubukam, 3 years, $24 million. Was that pretty good?
Ibukam?
Ibukam. There's an emphasis on the k.
Is he like French or something?
From Wisconsin, actually.
Really? Is he?
Ibukam.
Oh. No, there'd be like 12 extra letters in there.
No.
Oconomowoc?
And there's not like an ash or a ol or...
Huh? Fuck. All right.
Fact it.
And they also got kicker Matt Gay, 4 years, $22 million, which is crazy. That's a crazy bag for a kicker. Or just right away, just out front. Like, here you go.
I hope that it's guaranteed.
Yeah. All right. Some trades, or one trade that the Colts did was trade away. I'm a big fan of this one. They traded away quarterback Stephon Gilmore to the Cowboys for a 5th-round pick. Obviously, Stephon Gilmore is not the defensive player of the year he was a few years ago, but he's still a formidable corner in the league, so I'm happy about that. All right, retained in free agency linebacker EJ Speed, 2 year, $8 million, and wide receiver Ashton Doolin, 2 years, $7 million. What? Why are you shaking your head up?
I've just never even heard these names in my life.
I know who EJ Speed is. I don't know who Ashton Doolin is.
I know who Speed is too. Met him once or twice.
I show Speed.
Cap.
No, Speed. Actual Speed. You know who Speed is, right?
No.
Oh, you don't know who that is?
No.
Like for real, internet personality.
Oh, that guy?
Ronaldo.
I've never met him before in my life.
Twice.
Actually?
I thought it was that guy. But I forgot he doesn't play football.
Don't like that guy.
Yeah, he's kind of crackhead.
Whoa.
Like personality wise.
I was going to say, like literally or figuratively?
Probably both.
Yikes.
If I saw him in person, I said, "Would you categorize yourself as a crackhead?" He'd probably go. I mean, yeah, Ronaldo's cool.
Sweet.
All right, let's talk about
Hey,
their draft
Anthony
picks.
Richardson,
Yep, that's
the best quarterback in the draft.
round 1, pick 4. I thought it was 5, so I fucked up there. But the quarterback Anthony Richardson out of Florida, he is not still the starter yet, but I think that'll change here shortly. He is a 6'4", 244-pound quarterback. He's got speed. He's got definite arm strength. Kind of two things that aren't necessarily coachable in the NFL that they like to talk about. Like, you can coach being able to read a defense and stuff like that, but you can't coach strength and speed. So it's good that he went this early to the team that really needs a quarterback. But the only thing that I think of is when I think of Anthony Richardson from last season in Florida was that one play where he like pump faked and the guy jumped in the air, was looking around, rolled out, and the guy was wide open in the end zone. That was my first sight on Anthony Richardson, and he's pretty good since then. He had 17 touchdowns. The thing that scares me is 9 interceptions. Okay, that was not a great ratio, 17 to 9, but he did run for 654 yards and 9 rushing touchdowns. So, yes, I agree with this question. Is he the most versatile quarterback in the draft? Yes. Is he the best coming out of college? Absolutely not. Could he be the best pro? I also agree. Yes, he could be. Just depends on how it goes.
Yeah, obviously a small sample size for him in college. He got fucked his first year, COVID year, only was able to start 3 games. Second year, 7 games, and then 12 games in 2022. I agree with you. Obviously, a 17 to 9 touchdown interception ratio is kind of dog water, but
hot dog water.
Those 9 rushing yards with almost 700 rushing yards obviously makes up for it as well. So, we'll see. I think that he should be the starter. Gardner Minshew, I mean, obviously has proven at certain points that he can be a starter, and I think that a lot better option over Matt Ryan last season. I have them finishing decently, but that's under the pretense that Anthony Richardson is their starting quarterback.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Keeping them in games like Justin Fields.
Yeah, definitely. The Bears, they lost a lot of games last season, but they were in a lot of games to the end. So I could see similarly how Anthony Richardson would fit that role. Then, what do you want to say?
The point I want to bring up for Anthony Richardson is I think he's falling into the best situation out of all the rookie quarterbacks, because we were talking about that with Matt Ryan and how we were so high on the Colts last year because of the situation. He's got the best all-line out of all the rookie quarterbacks and the most weapons.
Yeah, especially Jonathan Taylor plays, that's such a relief off his shoulders too.
Because he doesn't have to be running all over the damn field like Justin Fields.
Yeah, he actually has somebody to help him run the ball. Yeah, definitely. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes. And also, Michael Pittman is a wide receiver 1. I think he's proven that the last couple of years. Alec Pierce came on towards the second half of the season last year. He is definitely a wide receiver 2. So yeah, I agree. And their defense isn't horrible. I mean, it's not a top 10 in the league, but I don't think they're in the bottom 10 of the league either. Somewhere in the middle. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, their offense and defense can work together, and like you said, at least keep themselves in games in the fourth quarter, make it so that there isn't a quarterback controversy.
Yeah, definitely. Where Gardner Minshew's crunching at the bit, or whatever that saying is. Yeah, chomping at the bit. But round 2, pick 44, they got cornerback Julius, who goes by Juju Brents out of Kansas State. Obviously, Stephon Gilmore left, and cornerback Kenny Moore and Isaiah Rodgers are both entering the final years of their contracts. We'll see if they actually are able to re-sign both of those guys, but if not, Juju Brents, you're up, buddy. Okay, I think he'll play somewhat. He's a 6'3", 200-pound corner, and then the Colts have a zone scheme that they like to run on defense, so we'll see. I think that build frame, because obviously it's kind of a big corner, being 6'3", 200 is a little bit on the bigger side, so it's not like a man corner. I feel like you got to be.
There aren't very many receivers that are even bigger than him, so it's
yeah. If he could lock down a zone versus being able to stay in man, yeah. So I think he went to a good situation there. That's all I have on the Colts. I talked about the Titans longer than I talked about the Colts.
Because that's your team.
No, stop it.
Third team.
Oh, sorry.
Cowboys, Bears, Titans. Not Packers, not Cardinals.
Well, yeah.
1, 2, skip a few. Eagles.
True.
Eagles are like your 5th favorite team?
No,
No,
I'm saying like,
bottom.
yeah.
I know.
God damn it.
Big JJ Watt fan?
Huge
Huge.
JJ Watt fan.
Me
Was that,
too.
was that a fat joke?
Ouch.
No, I don't think he's fat.
He's just a big boy.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
He's a Wisconsin boy.
Yeah.
Corn.
It's what he thinks of when he looks at Alfie. He just thinks that he's built like JJ Watt.
That is not the same at all. Not at all.
It's what John said to me, though.
I would argue that Elfie is more like Vince Wilfork.
I'm dead. Belly hanging out the jersey.
Yeah. Overalls. It's one of my favorite Hard Knocks moments still. When he shows up to the locker room in overalls and cowboy boots.
Just overalls. Yeah, there was no shirt. Big old Vince. Hey, he was on the Texans too.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying.
And it all ties together.
Yep.
Last year they were dog water.
They were, and I'm not projecting them to do any better this year. Last year they were 3-13-1. Vegas thinks that they could do a little bit better, though. They have the Vegas odds for FanDuel Sportsbook at 6.5. I'm taking the
I
under.
think that's fair.
I don't.
We all smashed the under.
Well, yeah, I recently changed mine.
This motherfucker.
Yeah, he's been changing it every week.
No, that's not true.
All of a sudden, like every team has above 8 wins.
No, chill.
I gotta give the people what they want. I
Equal
don't want them to hate me.
opportunity.
I just want to say everybody's team is a good team.
Yeah.
It's because he is fans of every single team.
Oh my god. Move
Some
on.
fun names here for you.
Yeah, so I've been stalling because I don't know how to say this guy's name. Lost in free agency, defensive end Agbonya
No,
Okorankwa.
he goes by.
Can you not interrupt, silly? Like, let me at least try it before you tell me I'm wrong.
No, I was helping you because that's what he goes by. I was shortening it for
I
you.
just feel like Agbo.
Ogbo.
Ogbo. I don't know.
Ogbo.
All right, try again.
OGBO.
Agbo Okororankwo.
That was your Wisconsin accent coming in. He said Agbo.
Agbo
It's not AH.
Collars.
Okororankwo. Goes to Cleveland on a 3-year, $19 million deal. Tight end Jordan Akins.
Hey, you got that one.
Thank you. Goes to Cleveland as well on a 2-year, $3.9 million deal. Gained in free agency. We already talked about wide receiver Robert Woods from Tennessee on a 2-year, $15 million. Free safety Jimmy Wards from San Francisco on a 2-year, $13 million deal. He immediately becomes the best player on that defense. Defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins from the Jets on a 1-year, $9.7 million. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we weren't going to pay him that.
Yeah,
No, definitely not.
The security blanket.
The security blanket.
Tight end Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
Big security blanket.
Wide receiver 1 and
He was for Dallas.
No.
he is.
It's definitely not.
He definitely is. Still.
Well, you got John Mechie.
Yeah.
He didn't even get to play last year. Give him a chance. He's coming over from Dallas on a 1-year, $6.2 million deal. Also, quarterback in playoff backup quarterback to step into a QB1 role legend, Case Keenum, coming from Buffalo on a 2-year, $6.2 million deal. Cornerback Shaquille Griffin, we already talked about, coming from Jacksonville on a 1-year, $3.5 million. Running back Devin Singletary, also coming from Buffalo on a 1-year, $2.75 million. And apparently wide receiver Noah Brown, coming from Dallas on a 1-year deal.
I didn't just add that or nothing. Hey, shut up. We're trying to do something.
I thought that was my car. Trades in the offseason for the Texans. At least they weren't boring. They're actually trying to do something. They acquired guard Shaq Mason and a 2023 7th-round pick from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a 2023 6th-round pick. So, just kind of swapping late-round picks. And then sent Brandon Cooks to the Cowboys for a 5th and 6th round
Woo!
pick.
Big fan of
wide
that.
receiver 3.
Nah, I mean, I bet he's 2 now. Michael Gallup hasn't been the same since his ACL tear,
Tony
so
Pollard is wide receiver 2.
no.
Deuce Vaughn.
I'd argue
Yeah,
Jake Ferguson.
Continue to throw into coverage with 5'5" Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, why? You can't even see him when he's
Smash that
running. You can't even see him when he's running routes.
Smash that interception over for Dak Prescott this season.
Not gonna happen. You do you. You can lose some money.
Smash that. Hey, I gave you free money last night.
That was me.
Hey, we'll talk about that.
Save
Save that for the end. Yeah, I made
You
$11.
made a couple bucks.
Yeah,
Some gas money.
not even.
True.
That wouldn't even give me a gallon.
Chill.
With
It's
gas
not-
prices these days.
It's not my true. It's not my fault. It's not your fault that he didn't make money. We
He's
gave
too
him the
scared.
opportunity.
He was too scared, and I was too scared to put more. I should put way more.
Oh my god.
I told you. We'll get there. We'll talk about it.
Retained in free agency inside linebacker Neville Hewitt on a 1 year, $1 million deal. So they were just like,
Here, buddy, come back to us.
so you don't have to not play football anymore, basically. Notable draft picks. This is where it gets a little bit more interesting for the Texans because obviously they had the second pick in the draft and the third pick in the draft. They took, obviously, with the second pick, quarterback C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State. In 2 years, he was a starter at Ohio State. He threw 8,123 yards and 85 touchdowns with only 12 interceptions. Pretty good. Heisman finalist in 2021 and 2022. Texans past 2 seasons, their quarterbacks ranked 31st. I don't want to read this. I kind of like Davis Mills.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
31st in QBR with a 33.3. Jesus. 21st
Who's
in
32?
touchdowns.
You want to take a guess?
Justin Fields. He doesn't throw.
No,
I'm
Oh.
guessing the Jets.
maybe. I'll have to look up. I'll look that up while you keep going.
They've been bad the last 2
He
years.
asked the question without.
No, I
No?
just wanted you to guess.
Oh.
Then I was gonna figure it out.
Then I'll go with Panthers, actually.
True.
BJ Walker and company.
Baker Mayfield. Didn't Cam start a game last year too?
He did.
And win.
Did he win?
Yeah, he won his
Really?
game.
That's wild. Davis Mills was primary starter last season, and he was tied with Dak Prescott for the league lead. Wow, in interceptions with 15.
Thanks for that.
And Dak also missed several games, so he would have thrown probably 5 more.
Facts. I do remember clowning you for that. I do.
had
I
to
remember
throw that
Dak
in there.
going out,
I'm
and
the
then
one
we
that
were
wrote- I'm
like,
the one that wrote this.
good shit.
The next time I'm just gonna put all of Dak's interceptions up here. We're gonna count how many was his fault and how many were
Well,
the wide receiver's
unfortunately for
fault.
you, even though that's a pretty big TV, we ain't going to be able to put them all up there.
There'd be so
Not enough
small.
not all at once.
That's what it sounded like.
You're ridiculous.
That's what she said. Round 1, pick 3, defensive end Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama.
Are the best
Best.
athlete in this draft.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Last season, the Texans' pass rush was tied for 17th in sacks with 39 and 16th in sacks with blitzing, 24. They allowed the 6th most rushing yards in NFL history with 2,894 yards.
They got ran on.
Horrible.
last year.
Horrible.
Ran
Well,
on.
also a part of that is like teams would jump out to such a big lead against them that they would just run the entire second half. So
To milk the clock.
it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I can't find exactly what I'm looking for, but within the last 5 years, Brock Purdy has the best quarterback rating. Well, because he only played 7 games or whatever.
And he only lost 1.
Respect. All right, that's all I wanted. All right, so basically on these rankings, Vegas, the Las Vegas Raiders have been the worst in QBR.
That makes sense, actually.
Oh, poor Carr.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I don't know that for sure, but
Well,
that's
also had Nathan Peterman for a little bit, didn't
yeah.
they?
So I don't know that for sure, but that's just what I was been seeing.
Continuing.
Have him do this guy.
Okay.
Juice.
Oh, Juice Scruggs
Let
out
the
of Penn
juice
State.
loose.
So yeah, actually, me and Hunter were talking about this because we weren't going to talk about this guy, but because all the things said like he's not getting the starting job, like he's just a backup, blah blah blah.
Because Questenberry is the veteran.
Yeah.
It's always been his job, but he just got placed on IR.
IR. So now Juice just gets elevated to the starting role. So he's out of Penn State, and we'll see how he does. But yeah, that's all. We were just talking about it today, like literally like an hour.
That's the only
before we
reason.
started.
I thought he had like some cool
No.
story behind it or something.
No,
You're like,
I'm
let
saying-
John do it.
Another one of those with a name like Juice,
Yeah.
like legal name.
Like, yeah.
Juice.
What year was that in 2K? That might have been the most fun.
Orange juice.
Yeah,
with,
that might have been the most fun in my career, to
what
be
the
honest.
fuck was that guy's name? He looked like Michael B. Jordan.
Well, it was. He was.
Oh, it was the actor. Like
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
What
That's
the fuck?
You
How do you
just
not
based
know
it off
that?
it.
I'm gonna
The
look
literal intro, the 2K17
Featuring Michael B. Jordan.
was literally him and Colby standing by each other doing the introduction.
I don't remember. It was 2K17.
This motherfucker.
Dude,
He looks like the guy from Creed.
And then John also wanted to include the 69th pick of this draft because this is his favorite number. Wide receiver Tank Dell from Houston. This man
His name is Nathaniel.
but he goes by Tank. This man is 5'8", 165 pounds, but this last year he led the NCAA in receiving yards and touchdowns and was second in receptions. 5'8", 165 pounds. The Texans now have him listed at 5'8", 185, but it might be a little elevated, but he's probably put on a little bit of weight.
Good, he should.
Yeah, 1,400 receiving yards and 17 touchdowns this last season on
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit. Obviously,
Houston team.
yeah,
so.
he's on Houston, so these numbers are kind of, I would say, inflated.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't think he's doing that on a Power 5 school. But if you're on the Texans, you're a Houston guy, you're on the Texans now with this offense with a million question marks, there's a chance that he gets some playing time.
Go catch some balls, boy.
Yeah, good luck. All right, before we move on to the record prediction stuff, I want to go back to our questions. If you're the Jaguars, I just want you guys to answer this. What is, like, just off the top of your head?
I just got that notification.
All right, yeah, we'll talk about that too. What, just off the top of your head, no thought into it, what is their floor, the Jaguars? Like, least amount of
Jaguars?
games. Yep.
Like 7
Playoffs.
and 10.
That is their floor, is making the
Well,
playoffs.
technically, because at 7 and 10, they can make the playoffs.
No, I meant, like, just
7
record-wise.
7 wins.
7 is their
7.
floor.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence gets injured, you could win 3.
Okay, but let's say in an ideal
Injuries are
world.
off.
Yep. It's Madden sliders. Injuries are off.
I'll change it. 8 and 9.
I was going to say 8.
All right, and then what is their ceiling?
13.
12.
14. That's mine.
12.
I just think they get 6 free games
This
here in
man's
this
a
division,
speed.
but
Is that correct?
oh jeez. Let's skip this Titans
There is
question
a resident crackhead.
because I didn't think
We
that.
just keep saying that from now on in the podcast. Be like, this man is speed.
This
Anytime
man
somebody
is
says something
speed.
outrageous,
This
and we'll
man.
just know that means that he's a crackhead.
So the question about the Colts, and it ties into fantasy football. Speaking of fantasy football, Hunter just got a notification what he was talking about. We are drafting next week. And instead of doing our offseason analysis like we've been doing the last 8 weeks, we're going to be drafting our fantasy football here live. You can tune in. We also still have just very limited spots. I think 2 or 3.
Is there any way, and I know this is in the middle of the cast, so I probably shouldn't be asking this. This is a question for probably later, but can we put the big board up on the TV?
So it's just we're actually gonna have it on there. It'll play on there, and then there's gonna be a little camera of us.
Oh, cool.
So the big board will be up there,
Oh.
following along.
Yeah.
Still like my face, though.
No, our face will still be
No,
on.
but
He
very
said I-
small. I'd rather have it.
Okay, not very
Yeah.
small.
Small enough, he said. No. But this is a question about the Colts that retains the fantasy football. Is Michael Pittman going to be fantasy relevant? Just yes or no?
No.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. If he's falling in the draft, what round would you be willing to take him in?
How many
8.
rounds do we have in our draft?
7. 15.
I'd be willing to take him as a free agent.
No, stop.
No,
You
okay.
are wrong. You're being out of pocket.
Yeah.
11.
The 11th round?
Yeah.
I've thought about taking a defense at that round.
So his ADP right now, average draft position for those of you who don't know,
It's pretty high still.
is 73, which is the early 6th round,
yeah.
like second pick in the 6th round.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
That's why I'm saying if he falls to like the 8th,
People are also
then I'm
taking
considering.
Bijan first overall, so I'm gonna let them make their mistakes.
I would take him. What are we talking
That might
about?
not be a
5th?
There's
Yeah.
gonna be every single year in fantasy. There's always these people that get taken way too early, and I'm like,
Of course.
that's cool for me. I'm gonna get someone that I didn't deserve now.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I get it. I was just curious because I thought that his ADP is a little high. Like,
is that in sleeper?
yeah, according to Sleeper. I mean,
Yeah,
all across the board, he's in the 70s somewhere, which is 6th
Yeah.
round. So,
for a 12-man league.
yeah. So I was just curious there. And then for the Texans, the relevant team we were just talking about, Who has the better year, C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson?
Will Anderson.
Not an answer. Wrong.
I think Anthony Richardson in my record prediction here will prove that as well.
I think Anthony Richardson too. You can try to clown me here for trying to knock on C.J. Stroud because apparently I said that C.J. Stroud was a really good quarterback early in one of these podcasts, which I might have said.
He
but
accidentally said that. You can retract.
Yeah, I want to retract. I just can't get over the fact that they have a quarterback IQ test and the man scored like a 78, which is like an all-time history low. Like, that can't be good.
This will be the one time that you get canceled. You can't say anything else. Like, you can't refute.
Yeah, so
you've said in the past.
So that was your one. That's your one mulligan or whatever they call it.
Fine. I'm gonna continue to say outrageous shit and not retract. The Jets suck ass.
Oh,
they will not make the playoffs.
What percentage did you say? Because
outlandish.
Because it is way lower than you said.
Is lower?
So Bryce Young scored a 98%.
Yep. That was
Anthony Richardson scored a 79, and C.J. Stroud scored an 18%.
Did he even put his name on it?
Yeah, I think that's where the 18% came from. It's like the ACTs.
I think you get 20% just for putting your name on it.
He said in
response,
CJ.
He didn't finish it. You get 18% of your name correct.
He didn't put number 22 on it.
Oh, God.
So this was like quoted for him when he got asked about it, that he said that I'm not a test taker. I play football. At the end of the day, I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. So
you know
I'm
what that test is? Have you looked it up?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like a responsiveness test.
I think we should all take it
and see how we.
Quite expensive.
Oh, how? You just print it offline?
No, it's like a test that you do online.
Oh.
And you have to pay for it.
I'll just
like $250 to just take the test.
Bet.
So and another $250 to get the results back.
Why is it an extra $250? Why am I gonna take it and not get the results?
It's like paying for Madden and then you gotta pay for coins.
I don't do that. I don't.
Oh, you're not like John?
I do in 2K.
Oh, okay.
2K gets me.
So
$200 every year?
No.
Pretty much.
If you want to
about an extra 100 probably, actually, to be honest.
Plus the 60.
Well, like I already do the $100 to get coins to begin with, and then I probably do eventually put in another $50.
So we'll pick a number later on this season once the season actually starts, but we get a number of likes, we'll all take the test.
I can't afford it. Well,
if the likes,
the likes will get us there, David. The likes will get us there. All right, those are the questions I had. So let's talk about our AFC South record predictions. I'm gonna go last because
I'll go first.
All right, you decided to go last twice now. That means you're going last in our draft too.
Deal.
So this year, I have the Jaguars winning this division, going 10-7, being the 4 seed. I definitely have them the lowest out of the three of us. In second in this division, I actually have the Colts going 7-10. I really think that with Anthony Richardson, they're going to be able to do a lot more than most people think. For the Titans, I have them going 4-13. Obviously, I think that there's going to be a quarterback change at some point in this season, and there'll be a lot of growing pains with that as well. The Texans, I actually have as I think that I have them as the worst team in the AFC, finishing 2-15.
Jesus Christ!
So, don't you have the same thing? Why are you saying that?
No, you do.
That's why I agree with you.
Yeah, but we all have the same team winning and losing this division. So,
yep. In the AFC South, I have the Jaguars winning this division, going 11-6, being the 4th seed in the AFC. In second place in this division, I have the Titans going 11-6, or 6-11. Sorry, that is the opposite. They're going 6-11, being the 12th seed in the AFC. I have the Colts coming in third place in this division, going 4-13, being 13th seed in the conference
division.
And then coming in last in this division, I have the Texans. Wow, I'm just like all kinds of fucked up. Let's try that again. In last place in this division, I have the Texans going 2-15.
That'll help me for editing purposes later.
Yeah, I know. That's why I did it. You want me to redo the other one too?
No, it's okay.
I think unless you want to. You have them tied for the Cardinals for the worst team in the NFL.
I do.
I don't think that once it's all said and done, I don't think that's going to be very far off.
Yeah, I think I have them both going 2-15.
All right, so I have a different approach. I have the Jaguars going 14-3 and being the 2 seed in the AFC. I have the Texans going 5-12 as the 12 seed in the AFC. I have the Colts going 4-13, which is a 15 seed in the AFC, and tied with them is the Tennessee Titans going 4-13 as well, number 16 seed. I also didn't mention this when we talked about the Titans. I think Derrick Henry gets traded before the trade deadline this season. I think they're going to be way underperforming at the time. He's an aging running back, and he needs to go
for him while you can.
Yep, he needs to go to a contender, whoever that may be at the midway point of the season. Who needs a running back? Say somebody goes down on a contending team, something like that. I expect Derrick Henry to plop in there, so that's why I have the Titans so low. If that doesn't happen, I'd see them winning 6 games, but that's what I'm anticipating.
I like that take. It's a good take. I would also like to put on the record that if you go back and look at any of our other podcasts, I guarantee that John has another team in the 2nd seed in the AFC because he's the only one changing his record.
No, that's not true.
Hunter and I have stayed true to what we predicted for our record predictions when we did this before casting. So that was 8 weeks ago.
Dude, the only thing if you want to be,
I guarantee you did not have the Jaguars as the number 2 seed.
Yes, I did the whole time. I promise.
Not the entire time. There's no fucking way.
Back.
There's no fucking way. I thought I remember you telling me that the Bengals were number 2 at one point.
The Bengals are 4.
I think you changed that after Joe Burrow.
You can look at it. Go back. I guarantee.
I can see right there. Edited today.
you're I'm gonna make a clip and post me saying the Bengals are the 4 seed.
4:37 p.m.
No. But the only thing that
August
I did
20th.
change, if I'm being completely honest, is the Texans. I had them at 6-11. I had them lose a game to the Saints, so that the Saints are the winners in the division now instead of the Falcons. It's the only thing I changed.
Gap.
EAP. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think, again, I have never been high on Trevor Lawrence. For me, he doesn't even pass the eye test. I think that he's in a system that works for him, and hope he rides that as long as he can, because I don't think he's going to be in the league for very long. But I also don't think that Josh Allen will ever win a Super Bowl. So,
yeah, I mean, historically too, with Ohio State quarterbacks, they don't pan out very well.
they don't.
Yeah.
Justin Fields.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I had a cough.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Alrighty then. Now it is time. It's time.
Man's didn't even watch the fight last night.
I did actually.
The last one. I'm telling.
I was on my break. Leave me alone.
Liar.
I was. I just strategically planned it so that Hunter texted me when Bruce Buffer was announcing Sean O'Malley and Aljamain Sterling, and I was like, I'm gonna go take my break now.
Quick break before we do the draft. Congratulations, Sean O'Malley, for becoming the bantamweight champion of the world.
Well,
good job, Sugar. I already drank all mine, too, and I think you would respect that, Sugar.
So shout out Happy Dad and Sean O'Malley.
Bantamweight champion of the world.
Yeah, that was an epic fight yesterday, and as Hunter alluded to, all of us won some money because of you, so appreciate it. And Steve will do it. Obviously, won a lot more money than us, but
Steve will do it. Did I tell you that? Every time that he's bet on him, he's won $30,000+.
I made more than them.
Where?
When I was telling you guys those numbers, when I was telling you guys those numbers,
taking off a couple zeros.
I was taking, yeah.
You wish.
You
wish you bet the goddamn house on it. I just wish you bet the goddamn house on it.
Bet my new car on it.
I mean,
God damn. All right. Yep. Like good little stop there. But
we gotta come up with a name for our UFC show.
Yeah, that's coming very soon. Spoiler alert, Hunter. No, just played. But alrighty, let's do the AFC. All right, let me rephrase that. Let's do the AFC South draft. If you guys are new around here, we draft the top 9 players in each division, and this division this week, the AFC South.
You have a really good list there.
No, I'm keeping a track of.
Gotcha. Okay.
No.
You're last.
Yes, I'm last.
Actually, no, you're first now.
What? Why?
Just to throw a curveball at you.
I can be first. I can be last. I can be second. I don't give a fuck.
What about fourth?
No, I don't want to be
I think we
fourth.
don't do a snake draft and you just get your 3 picks right at the end.
That's fucked.
You get the 7th, 8th, and 9th pick.
No, I'll go last. So who went first last time? No, you did. So Hunter goes first.
I did go first.
Yeah, he went first last week.
So I'm first now?
Yep.
Who's the best player in this division?
You tell me.
I'm gonna take Derrick Henry.
That's solid. I don't know if I would go that route, but that would be damn close.
He's the best player in this division. So
He said,
Excuse you?
thank you. No, just kidding.
I'm going to do it just so you can't do it. And with my first pick in the AFC South Division, I'm going to take Jonathan Taylor.
Yep, that was who I was going to pick. So in the turnaround here, since I got 2 picks, round 1, pick 3, I am going to take offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil from the Houston Texans. This man's went a long way from being the guy that was smoking the gas mask.
Whoa, we don't talk about that shit.
we talk about that.
To one of the highest paid tackles in the NFL. So respect to him. And then round 2, pick 1, I'm going to take quarterback Trevor Lawrence from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
With my second pick in the AFC South draft, I will be taking wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep, everything's going to plan so far.
I'm going to go ahead and take defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons from the Titans.
Literally, the 5 picks I have, just all in a row. That's like the first 5 people that I had, so we're going the right direction. All right, who's your last pick? Hunty.
Let's see. Defensive tackle DeForest Buckner.
That is who I was going to take. All right, fine. With my last and final pick in the AFC South draft, I will be taking free safety from the Titans, Kevin Byard.
Respect. With my final pick in the AFC South draft, I will be taking offensive guard Quentin Nelson from the Colts.
Very, very solid. I definitely won that draft, but
Dude, you say that every time.
you guys suck with this.
No, right.
If this is a
actually, if I recall,
for next week, you guys are gonna get clapped in fantasy this year.
If I recall, there's a guy that commented on our last draft video. He said
nobody.
So nobody won.
I think that he was saying that there's nobody in that division that is relevant.
That's a good.
I think my nickname's Nobody, so he was voting for me.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what kids called you in?
Yeah, when I used to fight in UFC.
No,
Damon stepping into the
nobody Gilbertson.
See,
Gilbert Damonson.
Bring back so many memories
Damonson?
of getting knocked out.
Nobody's son.
Nobody's. Damonson. Nobody's son.
Nobody's son. Nobody's son. What?
He's allowed to do that.
Yeah. I am nobody's son.
Aiden was here. Darius. What up, Darius?
I'm trying to get that fool to join our fantasy football, but he's scared because he has never been in like.
I think we got 2 spots left.
We won our basketball league
2
last
or
year.
3.
Shouldn't have won our basketball
2.5
league,
spots, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe 3, depending on. But yeah.
How the hell do you guys have a half a spot?
No, we're just.
There's going to be one team that has co-managers. Just for kicks.
Kicks and gigs.
Us 3?
Huh?
Yeah.
Us 3?
No.
Were you 2 colluding? Is it just you 2 and you're kicking me out? Back to being a nobody.
Nobodyson, Gilbertson.
But I think this concludes our AFC South episode and in its entirety, our off-season analysis for the 2023 off-season. I was going to say 2.
Fantasy week 1 preview.
Yep. So let's talk about that really quick because, yeah, I know, right? It's fucking finally. But so August 27th at approximately, I don't remember what Sleeper says. That's what we're drafting on.
6 p.m.
I would assume it's exactly when that notification went off, to be
5
honest.
o'clock.
Yeah, I bet it starts at 5.
All right. So
5 Pacific.
we might push it back. We don't know for sure because we want to make sure Christian's able to make the draft. So
probably 6 o'clock our time.
Keep on the lookout. Social media, Fortune Sports Crew to figure out when we're going to be drafting because we're going to be doing it live. We'll be able to see the whole draft board. We'll talk about our analysis, stuff like that. Then after that, which is what, the 3rd? ish. I might have to work that day, but the third ish is going to be our week 1 analysis, and then September 7th, the big day, Thursday Night Football. Chiefs Lions will be doing game commentaries all throughout the season, and that happens to be our first one.
We'll of course be betting.
Yep. Oh yeah, there's going to be all sorts of content.
Go Chiefs.
So if you guys were not,
yes, I'm not going to say go Lions.
So yeah, this concludes off-season stuff. So now we'll be actually getting into the current season. I'm so excited that we're finally back to football season. And honestly, there's a lot more relevant stuff in regards to the NFL, I should say, coming our way. So I'm excited. Anything else?
I'm just still on cloud 9 from Sean O'Malley when I last night.
So yeah, a lot of stuff coming. So stay tuned. Fortune Sports Crew. Go check out our merch, get something, or wait until the fall season. All this stuff will still be on there, so you can get it then as well. But all right, boys. Until next time, take care of yourselves.
Toodles.
Stay safe.
Deuces and smooches.
You'd think we'd have this down by now.
For real, as a.
Well, why do you always pause?
Because I start it and I end it.
Seems very
and
stupid.
Scene.